Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Garcia.
Cody, it was a day in college football, and it was a day in the Big 12. I mean, we're going to look, but with Texas Tech losing and with BYU winning, a lot of teams have hope now, especially including our Cyclones.
For sure. Yeah, coming into this weekend, things were looking very bleak for the Cyclones. Obviously, had lost two straight, and it looked like Texas Tech was the clear number one, and they were no doubt going to be in the Big 12. They were going to be like possible contender for a top four seed in the college football playoff. But in comes Arizona State with a healthy Sam Levitt, and Jordan Tyson, the rest of the Sun are able to get the 26-22 upset over the then number 7th ranked Texas Tech Raiders. And as a result of that the Big 12 is a bit more wide open. And also good news for our Iowa State fans. BYU gets a big important win in the Holy War against Utah. The implications of it being if BYU were to have lost, if they had lost that game, Utah would have gone up, and I think that may have given more like an impossible chance for Iowa State. I think the odds of Iowa State making Arlington if Utah was to win would have been very different, considering it would have likely been Texas Tech Utah in a rematch, given how the tiebreakers would have broken out more than likely.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how this Big 12 race is going to come up because a lot of the teams that we played, or like Cincinnati has Utah coming up. Cincinnati has a home game against Baylor, I believe, this upcoming Saturday. So that's going to be a tough game for them. So, I mean,
I
all
mean,
we have to do is just play our game and just win these games, and then let's see where the chips fall.
yeah, and I guess for sure, like I mean, the Big 12 standings look quite different now with the way like how those games come out. If you want to pull that up, so,
Yeah.
uh,
Yep, I will pull it up for you real quick. Hold on.
yep.
All right. Let's see. Oh, I gotta share my screen. Duh.
So while like what was like outside of obviously the Holy War, or I guess outside of the Big 12, what was like the game now? Right. So we got that up right now. So
So
let's take a look at the Big 12 standings.
yeah,
To other games in a second, but look at the Big 12 standings. BYU and Cincinnati are the remaining undefeated squads on in the Big 12. They're both 4-0. Not too far behind them is Arizona State, Texas Tech, and Houston. What a year for the Houston Cougars, being 6-1 and being a potential contender to go to Arlington. Who would have thought that 12 months
I
ago?
mean, yeah, I mean, I thought that they were gonna be a bowl team. I didn't think that they were going to be like in like one of the top six teams in the league right now at 6-1. I mean, Willie Fritz has them rolling right now.
Yeah. So it looks Willie Fritz, Connor Wigman, Houston Cougars. I think Houston did a really good job at building a foundation and building like I think a lot of people would call the right traditional way of building a college football team with a strong foundation. So Houston's done a great job with that and look at the position they're in. So a lot is going to go well for like it's going well for Houston right now, and they're going to look to keep that up. Right behind them, we got a lot of teams at the 2-2 spot. We got Iowa State, TCU, Baylor, Kansas State, Utah, and Kansas all at 2-2. I think out of these squads, if you look at it, the most likely to still be alive would be I'd say Utah, and then I would give Kansas the nod, and then Iowa State the nod. I think those two would be like the best chances to keep themselves alive in the race for a week longer, just given. But, or who knows, maybe Kansas State with the way they've resurged, and obviously Kansas State, Kansas will face off. We'll get to those matches later, but out of these 2-2 teams, who is most likely going to keep themselves in the race?
I mean, I hate to be biased, but I gotta say it's Iowa State. Like honestly, if you really look at Iowa State's like issues, Cody, honestly, most of Iowa State's issues are based on execution. offensively, we have to it's all stuff that's fixable. Catching the ball, not jumping off sides, not having false starts, not having penalties, and actually just finishing drives, catching the ball. And I'm pretty sure that we're probably gonna have I don't know. It's probably going to be a 50-50 chance that we get Conradi back, or we'll have Chase Smith. We'll have a kicker. But hey, maybe if Conradi comes back, there won't be as much pressure on the offense to score from anywhere on the field. So hey, and for me, it's not like the Iowa State's defense has been playing bad. It's just like they've had more pressure put on them because the offense wasn't doing their job. So I think if you look at all these 2-2 teams, Iowa State could get back to what they were when they were playing undefeated.
Yeah. I think for them, yeah, you mentioned details, and I mean that's been what Robert Beck and Matt Campbell have talked about, like, and that's always what they talk about. And yeah, the last 2 weeks they hadn't seen it out of the team, so I'm sure that they use the bye week to really not only freshen up and refine those set details, but also get healthy because this bye week came at a pretty good time where you had guys dropping and you just need to get to the bye week to get everybody refreshed and ready to go for what's going to be an important 2 game homestand for the Cyclones. So I'm expecting Carson Hansen to be back healthy. And then, yeah, Kyle Kavari's going to be 50-50, but it would be a beneficial for, I would say, kind of Kyle Kavari because, like you mentioned, it takes the pressure off of the offense, and in turn, it keeps the pressure off the defense. And the defense, I think you got to get those guys healthy too, so that way you can at least have a shot at what's going to be a very good running offense in BYU. And that's been one of the weaker points of this Iowa State defense is the run defense.
Yes, so that's going to be key, and we will be getting in more into that as we get into our BYU segment. But right now, we're going to go and look at the weekend that was in college football. So we're going to go over to the schedule, and we're going to go and look at the Big 12, of course.
Yep. So
All
we'll
right,
start
we are
there.
going to go.
Let's go first in a second, but
Oh, that is for next week. We are going to go look at last week. All right. And I need to go change it back to Big 12.
yep.
All right.
Yep. So as we mentioned, the two most important games in the Big 12 race was obviously Texas Tech driving down to Tempe to take on the Sun Devils of Arizona State, and the Holy War between then number 23 Utah and then 15 BYU. These were the two games I was locked in on the most because they had the biggest importance to the race of the Big 12. And I mean, Arizona State, they were able to match the physicality of Texas Tech, and Sam Levitt with a 309 passing yards, and Jordan Tyson having another good day, like I mentioned earlier. That was a big day for them, and I think this was important for them to still say that they are still here. Some people may have written them off after the Mississippi State loss, but Arizona State proves that they're still here. I mean, after the loss to Utah, we got blown out without Sam Levitt. Some people, there were doubts around Tempe and Kenny Dillingham. So for them to get this win here, it keeps the hope alive for them to go back to Arlington and for them to retain their as Big 12 champions.
Yeah, I've been saying all year that Arizona State has the heart of a champion, and they are here, and they're here to say, "Hey, you guys, don't forget about us." Yeah, Texas Tech may have all the money, but we actually won the title. So, I mean, it was sort of funny though after the reaction on Twitter with the tortilla stuff that to see
Oh yeah,
Texas get humbled. It was actually sort of pretty funny.
yeah. It's like they go all this immediate hoorah, and I know obviously I bet you the majority of people said that Texas Tech is going to the SEC. I bet that was trolling, but there were a couple of people who are actually dead serious on that. And for Karma to whack them not even like a week later after all that, it's kind of poetic. I know some
It
people were like
is.
they were starting to sound like the Texas in the conference. And you know how Utah came in all brash about winning the Big 12? Yeah,
Yep.
you get humbled real fast. If you try to say too much about yourself, there's going to be some team that comes up to your door and punch you in the face and probably pie you in the face as well.
And I mean, and with them losing now, they don't have a clear road. Like they have to keep winning now, and I mean they're on bye, but I mean, guess who they have off by? They have to go to a place that where I think they haven't won in like 15 years, which is at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, where you have to play the Kansas State Wildcats.
Oh,
So, I
and
mean,
yep. With
yeah,
the way Kansas State's been surging, I mean, getting that big win over TC, like I mean, them on the bye week, but like having that big win over TCU, yeah, they're going to be refreshed and ready to go. I mean, obviously, Kansas State cannot look ahead to that before they take not being able to take care of business against Kansas. But I mean, yeah, that's going to be an important game for both squads, really. For
yeah,
different
man, it's
reasons.
going to be an interesting matchup when both of them face off against one another. And really just BYU just being able to have the wherewithal to stop Utah because they were able to get like Utah was able to get yards. It's just with Utah was not able to convert in the red zone or on like certain fourth down plays.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this probably could have been a different game.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you look at the box score, the numbers, execution. Like you know how we were talking about Iowa State not being not executing to their best potential, like to their best or whatever, not playing their best game detail wise. Utah kind of fell trapped into this as well. They had 12 penalties on the day and 2 turnovers on the day, and those were really like those were backbreaking for Utah because I mean they were right in the game, but just those mistakes that were made, like how Iowa State lost against Colorado and Cincinnati. Utah committed that against BYU, and you cannot commit 12 penalties and turn the ball over twice in a tight game like this.
You sure can't, man. Like it's yeah, 1 of 5 on fourth down, and then yeah, 12 penalties for 77 yards is not going to get it done.
But I mean, I think the big story out of the Holy War was the Bear Bachmeyer. What a day for the Big 12 freshman of the week. That dude, he continues to be like, he's probably like the best, like one of the best freshmen in all the country. There, I mean, for sure the Big 12. But what he's putting up really good numbers, and I mean, he made huge plays, and I mean, his rushes were really crucial. And then obviously he didn't pass like he didn't pass the ball too much, but kind of need to when you're able to get 200 yards on the ground and you got some as well from your quarterback. So Bear Bachmeyer able to make the big plays, including that rushing touchdown where he literally is able to break a couple tackles and carries what I think was a linebacker with him, dragging 5 yards into the end zone. So that's going to be something that Iowa State needs to be able to limit.
Oh, I already know in film session that they're just drilling it into their heads to stop the run, stop the run, stop the run, stop the run, stop the run.
Yeah, and I think that starts with being the more physical team because Utah came
Yeah.
in pretty physical. Like they're known to have a physical squad, and BYU was able to match them. So I need to be able to see that out of Iowa State because I don't think we saw that the last couple of weeks. They got dominated in physicality. So if Iowa State could come out with more physicality and assert their dominance early in the trenches, that sets up well for Iowa State.
Definitely. And then we are going to take a look. Cincinnati. There was a point in this game where Oklahoma State kept it close, where it was 21-17, but then Cincinnati ended up pulling away, winning 49-17. But there was another game at 11 a.m. Arizona on going down to TDECU Stadium in Houston, where Houston survives Arizona 31-28.
Yeah, a game-winning field goal for Sanchez, and I think he won Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Week. So, really good day, and Houston was able to do enough to keep up in the shootout. Because I mean, I was watching that first quarter; it was touchdown after touchdown. It almost felt like an old Big 12 game. So, Houston able to get the big win, huge win at home, and stay six and go up to 6-1. So they're legitimate. So really liking the side of Houston.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how their season turns out. And then we have the revivalry, TCU outlasting Baylor 42-36.
Yep, and it took multiple weather delays. This game didn't even finish on TV because of all the weather delays. I think that's like what was it, the fourth quarter or something? They had like multiple lightning delays, so you didn't even get to finish the game on national television. So you had to go to like the ESPN app or something. So yeah, this one was a doozy for anybody in attendance. this game, it was a doozy to sit through. Not because of like the action on the field, but because of the weather delay. But also, what has gone up? Baylor just every week, you don't know what you're getting out of them. And Sawyer Robertson, I feel like it's just he's hit a ceiling that he's hit a slump that I got to figure out how you get out of that because I think Baylor came into the year as like a contender for the Big 12. Just they lost to Auburn at home. Got the loss to Arizona State. Now you lose in your rival game against TCU. So I honestly don't know where we would go with Baylor. And I know people are going to talk about like having David Arena lost back in the hot seat, but this year it just I don't know if you want to like pull the trigger on that because the coach cares and the coaches available and the jobs opening aren't so great.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that after we do the Big 12 and national segment because that all these openings are going to be absolutely insane, and we're going to discuss that because that's just absolutely nuts. All
Oh,
right,
and,
we're going to.
and
Oh, go
congrats
ahead.
to Middle Florida for getting the big win over West Virginia. Congratulations.
Yes, Middle Florida getting a win over West Virginia over hapless West Virginia. Congratulations.
All right. All right. Anyways, to the national slate. Obviously, you got some action, got some Group of 6 matches, but Friday. Oh boy. We get the chaos. Number 2, Miami. Once again, Mario Cristobal teams choked in this time of year, and it happened again. But this time, it wasn't Mario Cristobal's incompetence that did him in. It was Carson Beck throwing 4 picks on the day as Miami loses to Louisville in Hard Rock Stadium, 24-21.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Miami fails in a play in a spot where they could become like the U again, like they used to be in the 20 years ago. Every time they have a big moment like this to prove themselves that they're different, they always show that they're the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the new shirt. Like I don't know whose fan base it is. It's like New Year's same beat bullshit or whatever. Excuse my
Yeah,
French, but yeah. Well, that wasn't the only ranked upset. Minnesota, they just completely shut down Dylan Raiola in a then 25 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. Minnesota wins 24-6. Minnesota rushes the field, and boy, uh, let's just say Twitter was pretty divided on it. People say like, "Really, you're storming the field for Nebraska? How embarrassing!" I'm like, listen, Minnesota doesn't really have too much to cheer for in the modern era of college football, so I'll give it to them. But they lost their prize, um, Floyd Rosedale Trophy to Iowa. They're fighting for that this coming up week. We'll get to that later. But what do they still have Paul Bunyan's axe against Wisconsin?
oh yeah, they're gonna get that this year.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, not too much going for Minnesota outside of that. So I guess if you're there, like let them rush. I honestly don't care. It's fun to watch, but they did it.
Also, a crazy stat: Dylan Raiola got sacked 9 times in this game. Jeez.
Yeah, with that type of offensive line, I would immediately be throwing my offensive line coach or whatever. I don't know what this guy's game plan for. So you're saying that in a possible world, let's play hypotheticals here because I know certain teams plan. Iowa State would actually be able to sack Dylan Raiola, right? That offensive line,
Yes.
even even with how like how much we as us as fans have trashed John Hancock's 3-3-5. We could probably get a couple sacks on Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, we probably could.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, some more action on Friday. Looks like Utah State were able to get a last-minute winner over San Jose State, and then oh boy, things go from bad to worse to Chapel Hill. The Calgorithm conquers the Tar Heels. 21 was that 18. JK has a pretty solid day, but yeah, things are going bad. I bet you North Carolina fans are already thinking about basketball. They've been thinking about basketball since I don't know. They can be positive about that.
Yeah, it is ugly. And speaking of ugly, we gotta look at this first game. Number one Ohio State goes on the road and shuts out Wisconsin. And we're going to this is Saturday. Shuts out Wisconsin and Madison 34-0.
Oh man, how is Fickle still at Wisconsin? Somebody explain it to me. How is he still at Wisconsin after this?
I would have fired him like right after the game, right then and there. I don't understand
He
how
should have
he's
not
still
even coached
there.
this game. He should have been fired after the Iowa game when he got shut out 37-0. Should have been fired after that.
I mean, it's unbelievable that the last two your last two home games you get shut out 71 to nothing.
And you
You
get
really
shut out
just should get fired based on the fact that you gave up 37 points to
to
Iowa.
Iowa. Like, come on, man. It's one thing to give up that, but also be shut up. Okay, I understand getting shut out by that. Well, whatever. But like, give up 37 points. That's embarrassing, man. Like, what?
Yeah,
It,
what I mean, now
I'll hope it's
I think
lost.
yeah, I'll hope it's lost. I don't think Wisconsin wins another game this season.
No. Wait, you want? I mean, as of right now, until they fix it, Wisconsin is a volleyball only school. Don't at me. They're a volleyball only school. Don't even talk about basketball because you know they're going to choke there. So they're a volleyball school. And I mean, we can talk about Wisconsin's schedule. We want to pull that up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Oh
Oh,
no.
oh God. At, wait, is that
At
at
Oregon?
Oregon at night? Is that a night game?
Yes.
Wait,
On
is that
FS1.
that's six
Oh
thirty local time?
no.
Wait a minute, that's gonna be. Oh, that's gonna be like what? That's 4 o'clock Oregon time, but still, come on, bro. That's gonna be such an embarrassment.
But then
And,
look at 2 weeks later. At Indiana, and then you have to play
oh,
Illinois at home.
oh, not to mention Washington's actually pretty solid. So at least Washington put up a fight against Ohio State. What are you? What are we doing? Oh, I think Washington.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
Washington
is
probably beat 'em. And then at Minnesota for Paul Bunyan's axe. Oh, right now Minnesota's taking that back. They're keeping Paul Bunyan's axe. And if
yeah.
Luke Fickle is not fired, like by the end of this, sorry, but if he's not fired by the end of the year, what are we doing? And the fact that the '80s backing Luke Fickle, how can you back this level of incompetence?
I don't even know, dude.
I think it's systematic. This is a whole systematic thing. This is ridiculous. There's no way your entire athletic department is backing this performance.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how you can stand for that.
I don't even know how I got into a tangent to Wisconsin, but here we are, man.
I think it's just you saw Oregon and you're like, oh no.
And Indiana, Illinois, and the fact that like he stayed there before certain coaches who we knew were going to be fired.
Yeah, it's
But
ridiculous.
how about a brighter note? Speaking of Indiana, they got in a little bit of a scare against Michigan State, but ultimately were able to pull away for an Those with another good day. And I mean, Indiana's up to what, #2 in the country, so another great year for Cignetti and company. And we offer that contract extension. I know for sure it's not going to look like Cignetti's moving anytime soon. So any team, any program that needs a coach that thought they're going to get Cignetti, you can kiss that goodbye right now because he's now leaving Bloomington.
Yeah, he just got a new contract. I think an 8-year contract for like worth like 93 million.
Yep, like some $1 million a year.
Gee.
Yep. All right. Texas A&M. They survived Arkansas. Boy, oh boy. This thing looks like a shootout to me. I didn't get to watch the full. Were you able to?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I will say you expect this game to be goofy every year. This game used to be played at Jerry World, but now it's played at both campuses. But this game is always crazy. Usually, sometimes there's a team that has a big lead and then they choke it away, and then sometimes they give it back. It's always a crazy game. So it was a nice back and forth game. It was a fun watch, fun 11
Yep.
a.m. watch. But this next game, though, unbelievable. I don't even know how Georgia came back in this game, but Georgia edges Ole Miss 43-35. Ole Miss at one point was up 35-26, and at that point I thought the game was over because Chambliss, Ole Miss's quarterback, he played very, very well in this game. But like, man, and then
No,
I
stop.
don't know if it was Deshaun Stribling. One of the guys on Ole Miss had an amazing sideline catch, which he caught one handed. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah. I mean, I look at like Georgia. I mean, that fourth quarter, Georgia. The big thing for that. I mean, Ole Miss did have that lead, but Georgia able to shut out Ole Miss in the fourth quarter and put up 17 points. That was the big thing. Um, yeah, so I mean, yeah, that fourth quarter was huge. Gunnar Stockton, pretty efficient day for him. 26 to 31 for 289 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns today. So really good, like so an efficient day for Gunnar Stockton in Georgia. I mean, but after that loss to Alabama, have put up 3 straight, and that big win over Ole Miss. So Georgia's right back in the SEC race.
Oh yeah.
They're keeping up with Alabama and Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's good that and the SEC is going to be a fun race too. Like it's a lot of this stuff is going to figure it out itself probably within the next few weeks as the playoff rankings come out within the next 2 weeks. All right, we are going to move to the third Saturday in October. Alabama's on a roll right now. Ty Simpson is looking as good as he's ever been as Alabama pulls away in the second half and beats Tennessee 37-20.
I mean, the best summary I can give to this game is the 99-yard pick six. That's pretty much how
Yes.
the game went. Tennessee thought they had a chance. They were about to score a touchdown to end the half, and then Joey Aguilar throws an interception and it goes all the way back for a pick six. And from there, yeah, it was game over. Tennessee was not getting back to this game.
Yep. And as they pull away, they are in prime position to lead the SEC. We're gonna take a look at Bama's schedule to and then let's see what they have. They have at South Carolina, LSU at home, Oklahoma at home, Eastern Illinois, and then at Auburn for the Iron Bowl.
Oh, that's barbecue chicken right there. You host LSU and Oklahoma. That's barbecue chicken. Unless y'all I'd say this. I think Oklahoma has a better chance of beating Alabama in Bryant Denny, but I don't think LSU can match the fire. Like Garrett Musfire, I don't know if he can be able to keep up with Tyson. But yeah, Alabama is trying to keep up with Texas A&M in the race for the SEC. So I have to say right now those two will be going for the SEC title.
Yeah, let's get into that. We're gonna go to um that game right there. Vanderbilt edges out LSU at home 31-24. And the best part about this game is that Vanderbilt didn't even rush the field.
Ah, yes, anchor down, boys. What a year it is to be a Vandy fan. It's a good year to be a fan of historically bad teams. Like these past couple years have been great. Obviously, we had our year last year. I mean, we still have a pretty good year this year. I mean, things are not lives are not high right now, but I'm assured that after Saturday they're going to be high. They're going to come back high. But yeah, great year to be like a fan of historically bad program. Vanderbilt, yeah, just able to, yeah, they were able to take care of things. So yeah, they're off to their best start in 75 years, 6-1, and things are really bright. Diego Pavia, his 2 years at Vandy, have revived like Vanderbilt. They dug him from the grave of the SEC basement.
Yeah. I mean, Vanderbilt is only behind Oklahoma. And I mean, they let's look at Vandy's schedule real quick. Because look at Vandy's schedule, it's very, very advantageous. They have they have game day there, hosting Missouri at home, and then the week after that they play at 11 a.m. in DKR against Texas. So I mean, can you imagine if they win both of these games and we have an 8-1 Vanderbilt?
Yeah, with the way Missouri, yeah, you're able to host them. Yeah, I think that's a winnable game. And then at Texas, I think in the preseason we would have thought that Texas would have steamrolled Vandy, but the way the season's playing out right now, I think it's going to be a much closer game. Who knows? Maybe Vandy even pulls the upset over Texas and PKR.
Like, yeah, Cody, we may have to talk to our kids about a 10-2 Vanderbilt, and I can't believe that's coming out of my mouth, but we might have to talk to our kids about a 10-2 Vanderbilt, dude.
Yeah. How about telling your kids that both Iowa State and Vanderbilt went 10-2? like within 2
They're
weeks
like,
to the
what?
no, in Indiana, being a college football playoff team.
Yeah, and being a wagon. Like, they're killing teams, dude.
Yep. Yeah. I
All
mean,
right. Yeah.
take a look at the rest of the National State. Georgia Tech takes care of Duke, and then Notre Dame with a big win over USC in the battle for the Jules lately. This was a fun game. This was
Yes,
fun
it
to watch,
was.
and I feel bad for Jaden Mahava. Get them in get them in receivers that can catch the football. It's like, dude, if he had guys that could actually catch the football, this would have been like USC would have put up more of a fight. But I mean, what are you gonna do when your receivers keep dropping the football after you put it in the perfect spot?
Also, the fact that they still had a chance to win this game when Jeremiah Love rushed for 228 yards is amazing to me.
And yeah, but Southern California's gonna be kicking themselves a little bit. But
Yeah. And then let's go back to Georgia Tech for a second. Georgia Tech is 7-0. And like that game versus Georgia, man, could absolutely mean something. Let's take a look at Tech schedule
um,
real quick because I believe they do have some games of consequence coming up.
yeah. Well,
Oh
actually,
wow.
that schedule sets a very favorable. All Georgia Tech has to do is win out, and they're in. They're in the ACC playoff game.
They don't even have to play Virginia or SMU. Wow.
Yeah, that
They
Pitt game
avoided
is winnable.
everybody.
Yeah, that Pitt game is winnable if you're asking me, because they host them. So that might be the toughest game remaining in the ACC for them is Pitt, or maybe NC State
Yeah.
can cause chaos. But I think NC State and Pitt are going to be the two games I circle. But I think
Yeah. Pitt
if
is
you're
Pitt
Georgia
is
Tech, you
feisty.
should win those. You should win those games.
They
And who
definitely
knows?
should if you want to be taken seriously.
Yeah, and who knows if you put up a fight against Georgia, or shock me, even more shock, somehow beat Georgia, that's gonna for sure put you in the playoff, even if you don't win the ACC. That one over Georgia's gonna be
I don't even know who they're gonna face, but we're gonna look at maybe one of the teams that they could face. But I mean, what a weird year. I honestly I thought I thought that this year or last year was mirroring 2007. I actually think that this year I think mirrors 2007 because if you look at the top 10 and look at so many teams that have been historically bad that are in the top 10 is absolutely insane to me. You're like, how? You're like, what type of world is this?
yeah, the top 25. I mean, yeah, you got number 18 Virginia, like we talked about. They survived Washington State, so I mean, yeah, so they remain undefeated, so they'll be fine. South Florida is really making a case for that Group of Six spot as they dominate Florida Atlantic. Texas has to go to overtime to survive Kentucky. Oh boy, yeah, Texas. You may not be as bad as you think you were.
Yeah, Arch Manning struggled once again.
Yep. And then Memphis goes down to UAB, who had just fired Trent Dilfer in Memphis for a second. Thought they had a chance, but they lose a game at to the Blazers. So that's going to throw in the ring the Memphis chances. I think the path opens up a little bit for South Florida.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to put a wrench in the chance. I saw like, oh, that's a bad loss.
And then Cincinnati steamrolled Oklahoma City. But I mean, there are some games I think in the non-ranked matchups that I think are of interest. I mean, you talked about SMU a little bit earlier. They take care of Clemson, 35-24.
Yep, and then Michigan gets a big win at home over Washington, 24-7, as Washington gets ready to face Illinois this weekend.
Yep.
So,
And then
oh,
about
and then Boise
Boise.
State destroys UNLV at home, 56-31.
And then for North Texas, it looks like they respond well. And I mean, they still have
Wow.
55-17 for the Mean Green in North Texas. And then right below it, I'm gonna let you talk about this game. Right below it, go ahead.
So, yeah, Florida wins 23-21, but yeah, we got the best news Billy Napier is no longer the head coach of the Florida Gators, and I couldn't be any happier. It's been long overdue. I will say, because me and my dad talked about it this morning, when we were both at work, and I will stand. I will stand on my soapbox and say that Dan Mullen should have never been fired. Because you see how well he's doing at UNLV. Dan Mullen should still be the head coach of the Florida Gators right now, and they probably would be doing well, especially in this NIL era. So Florida has no one but themselves to blame. So hopefully they find a good coach. I think their next coach is going to be Jed Fish from Washington, but that's my prediction.
And I think the thing for Florida, I think they I think Billy Napier's made it like a perspective because I think he showed that like I think for the longest time ever since Urban Meyer left, it wasn't necessarily like a perspective to the coach front. And obviously Dan Mullen, yeah. I think yeah, Dan Mullen bridged that a little bit, and then Billy Napier kind of like held it in shape. Obviously, wasn't the best, but I think at that point in time, Florida, you couldn't be trying to go as national games as you did with Urban Meyer. You kind of needed to give a rebuild just a little bit. I think really did his job in there. His principles there. I think the foundation's there. He obviously isn't the right guy to go forward, but I think like the foundation was to take Florida back to the same. So I think yeah, right time for Florida to finally move on from this game. I think this.
Yeah, and we're gonna look at.
Yep. A couple games below it. This was the hard beer right in my soul. Iowa Penn State.
Yeah, we
this
thought that this
somehow,
was.
yeah, this one's gonna be a stinker, but this actually was fun to watch. This
It was.
fun to watch, and I mean, what a what a game this was. I mean, Iowa and Penn State. Penn State obviously had just fired James Franklin, and you think they would come out and look terrible, and get blown out by Iowa. But I mean, the interim coach I think was Terry Smith. Got the guys fired up. They got them ready to go, and I mean, they came out with the fire, and they were motivated and driven to play this game. And I mean, they took the lead at halftime after blocking a 66-yard field goal attempt by Iowa to go up 14-10. But Mark Gronowski gets it really done like on his with his legs. He had a couple of huge runs, and I mean, that led to big touchdowns. And Iowa eventually able to pull the 1-point win. And I think as much as I hate to say this, I hate to provide Iowa fans right, but I think yeah, this is their best win of the year. Granted, obviously Penn State's not really the Penn State that we think they are, that we're used to seeing, but I mean yeah, it's their best win. And I mean the door's wide open for that. To be a dark horse. I know it's crazy talk, given if like what we have up ahead, but I mean pull up Iowa's schedule. I've heard Iowa fans say that they could make a run to potentially be in the college football playoffs. So tell me if you think they can.
Well, we're gonna see. We are gonna see. Let's say they got Minnesota, they got Oregon, at USC, Michigan State, and at Nebraska. I mean, so I guess if you believe that they could somehow upset Oregon, and then because the key stretch is going to be because I can tell you this at Oregon at home and then at USC, that USC game is going to be a letdown game. Going to the West Coast after playing after an emotional spot against Oregon, like they'll beat Minnesota, but like you like let's say they somehow beat Oregon and they're 7-2 after that, I'm telling you that USC game is going to be a letdown game.
For sure. So
I think they finished 9-3. I don't think they finished.
yeah.
I feel like they'd have to be 10-2, but 9-3 I think is where
Yeah.
we
And the thing is,
had
would
them.
10-2 be good enough? I mean, you look at the teams around them. I mean,
Good point.
I think Indiana and Ohio State play each other. Wait, they don't play each other, right?
They would play each other in the Big Ten championship game.
Okay, so yeah, so I wouldn't be able to go to the Big Ten title game, but I think they could potentially get an at large.
Right.
So yeah, if they do go 10, yeah, they go 10-2. They could be possible, but I just don't see it right now unless they get that win over Oregon. That's going to be the key right there. Win against Oregon and at USC. That's the two games we're looking at
Well,
the
that's the
most.
thing, and it looks like Oregon, Northwestern, and UFC have a tiebreaker over them. So and I mean the fact that Northwestern is 5-2 right now is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't think any of us had that thought of them being 5-2. But look at all the
No,
teams that are 5-2 in the Big Ten. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 teams in the Big Ten that are 5-2.
oh
It's a
man,
mosh pit. But I
that
am
is a
laughing at the mosh pit of the 0-4 teams because Penn State was confident being out there.
well. Look at the three. Well, wait, hold on. But let's look at the 3-1 team. That's 3-4. UCLA. UCLA is 3-1, but 3-4
they,
overall.
they figured it out. They figured it out, man.
They
Let's
figured
see.
it out, man. They got a big. They have a 20-17 win over Maryland, and now
Uh,
what's their prize? Going on the road to play Indiana.
oh, oh, buckle up, boys. You're gonna be in for a long one. But oh man, Pac-12 after dark lives on, baby. Stanford gets the win over Florida State. And Florida State season continues to collapse.
Yeah, and their AD came out and said that they're sticking with Mike Norvell. I'm like, oh boy. Speaking of a Norvell that actually got let go, Jay Norvell is no
Well,
longer the coach at Colorado State as they lose to Hawaii 31-19.
oh yeah, and boy, the coaching carousel, it's getting crazier by each day. Like, I gotta look at the list. College football fired coaches. Um, coaches. So this is just a list of names that have been fired during 2025 season. Obviously, James Franklin uh, from Penn State, Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State, Sam Pittman from Arkansas, Billy Napier from Florida, Brett Pry from Virginia Tech, Deshaun Foster from UCLA, Jay Norvell from Colorado State, Trent Dilfer from UAB, Trent Bray from Oregon State. Now, I mean, we're expecting more openings to happen, but I mean, we gotta. I mean, at some point, we gotta talk about this. I made this joke like again. Take it. It's a drink game for. Take a shot or a drink for every time Matt Campbell is named to a new team in the coaching rumor mill.
Oh yeah, Y'all better be ready for it. This with all these big school
Oh, I'm ready.
openings. Y'all better
Yeah,
get ready. Like be ready. Don't crash out, but like be ready because
I think
there's gonna be a
the thing is,
whole bunch of.
yeah, big schools open up, and I mean, this is I think where it comes in. People are like going to look at Matt. Like, I think people like say like, why would we hire Matt Cable? He just lost to Colorado. It's like, guys, I think you're looking way too surface sometimes. You're not looking at what he's built at Iowa State. You're only looking at like the most recent game. That doesn't even tell you the full story of Matt Campbell. And I mean, I think Brett Bloom talked about it yesterday. The, Iowa State, they're hiring a new president. Obviously, when Winter State's retiring at the end of the semester in about what 8 weeks or so. So this is going to be like the next few weeks are going to be big for the university because I believe that the potential candidates for the next president of Iowa State are going to be at the BYU game or the Arizona State game. I don't remember which one it was. But they're going to be at one of those two games. And for Iowa State and Matt Campbell and TJ Otterberger to stay, you need a president that cares about the athletics as much as they do the academics. You don't want to make the mistake of hiring the wrong president, and they don't really care about athletics. They really focus on academics and Iowa really State. So it's going to be a huge few weeks for Iowa State.
Definitely will be, man. I'm excited to see uh, how this uh, how this new president process is. But I mean, continuing into the coaching carousel segment, man, like what? Who do all these big schools think that they're going to get? Because like in this new era of NIL, like there's not like how much better are you of a coach are you going to get than the person that you had before? And are you sure that they're going to be better than what you had?
And I mean, how are you going to be
That's
sure
my
you're going to get
question.
your yeah? And also, if you're going to fire your coach, how are you going to get your guy? If you like, if your guy probably has a bunch of other like teams calling them and hitting up their phone to like be their coach. So who knows if you fire your coach, but then you find like a guy who's even worse, you're probably going to regret the decision.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, man, I feel like you need to know or at least start doing interviews now because now it's the 30-day window to where all these kids can leave. And that's another thing we got to talk about is just like all there's going to be so many kids in the transfer portal. And now that there's only one transfer portal window now, it's about to be absolute chaos, dude.
Yeah, you know what I saw when I think I saw like the Oklahoma State kicker. He entered the transfer portal. I made the tweet saying I think we need to pick up this guy. Given our kicker injuries, I think he would have been a great pickup for Oklahoma State. We'll take anything at this point. A kicker. That's actually a kicker, all right.
Everything has come to light. Sorry.
I know you're hearing
That's
that
the
too.
song in the
I know. What's
back.
crazy is I was playing. Yeah. So like I was just listening. Like I'm blasting. I was playing a truck earlier, so I'm in football mode, and I was listening to Undertaker's Limp Bizkit theme and Randy Orton's old theme, "Burning My Light." So yeah, I've got that wrestling playlist going on.
Hey, nothing you can say. All right. All right. We are going to take a look into BYU. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over to ESPN and look at some of the numbers in BYU for BYU and take a look at that. Cody, in this matchup, like how are you feeling coming into this matchup?
I think this sets up pretty well for. You know what's funny? This sets up pretty well for Iowa State. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at like how like Vegas odds wise, they have Iowa State as a favorite against a top 15 team that's undefeated. And the poetic part of that is Iowa State was on the other side of it just 2 weeks ago against Colorado. Iowa State comes in as a ranked opponent. It's Cincinnati too. Iowa State is a
Yep.
ranked undefeated heading into Cincinnati. And Cincinnati was the favorite. And you want to get what happened? Guess what happened? Cincinnati won.
Cincinnati won.
And then what happened again the next week when Colorado was the favorite? Iowa State comes to town. Colorado wins. So
Yep.
if this pattern continues, that means that Iowa State is winning this game. This may be crazy optics, but it makes sense if you think about it. This thing keeps happening, and I mean, Wiseman once said, when an undefeated ranked opponent comes in to a team that's unranked, but on the road, and the home team is the favorite as the unranked squad, you bet on them. And more times than not, they win outright. And
Yeah.
this feels like a very similar situation. I saw a tweet someone saying this feels like a very similar situation to Oklahoma State 2021, where Iowa State came into that game 4-2. Obviously, they had sky high expectations. They weren't necessarily meeting them so far. You bring in an undefeated top 15 squad in Oklahoma State, number 8 at the time, and Iowa State wins that game. This feels like a very similar scenario.
Yeah. Jack Fresh is going to be rocking. I just pulled up basically their team stats. I mean, I will say it's not obviously you look at the numbers, you can have the numbers tell you anything. The numbers really aren't that impressive, to be honest. I will say that they run the hell out of the football,
What's your name? Yeah, your name.
and they run the hell out of the football, and that's what they want to do. And that's one thing that Iowa State cannot let them do is run the football.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about LJ Martin. He's a threat in the run game, and then also Bear Bachmeyer. We've seen what he can do with his feet. I mean, we're gonna have to lay a metaphorical bear trap to stop. And I think that starts with getting a healthy Dom Orange. I know he's been banged up the last couple of weeks, so when we get him healthy, he should be huge and getting the physicality up. And also need to really see a step up in like guys like Thomason McDonough, Ike Eziagu, Zamir Hawk, to name a few. Maybe even see Jace Gilbert on the defensive line. We need somebody to step up there, and then our linebackers as well. Really got to have them in the right position, make the right plays, and not allow missed tackles to happen and get into that secondary because things can get really dangerous when you let LJ Moore and Bear Bachmeyer into open field.
Yep. Yeah, linebackers need to attack at the point of attack, getting to the football, getting to the ball carrier. I will say defensively, man, BYU is solid. They are so good, especially that linebacker number 18. That dude is a beast. So I think like just with BYU, they won't really like wow you with what they do. Like they're just a solid team that just finds ways to win. If you want to talk about a similar team, they sort of play like the Hawkeyes. They sort of play like Iowa, and I feel like that's what this game. Maybe it's going to be probably a bit more high scoring. I do think that the offense, I think, will be able to get it going. It's just I think we're probably going to have to take some shots probably early in the game to loosen up this defense.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing I want to see is our offense really get back in the rhythm because I think that should happen. You get the guys all healthy, you get them all get the chemistry built up, practice and whatever. I think we're going to see the offense get back to what they were earlier in the year.
I do too. Yeah, because I mean we're at home. Now we're getting Carson Hansen back. Abu had a really good game a few weeks ago, so now his confidence is at the top of the world. So having a two-headed monster with a confident Abu, and then hey, maybe these receivers hopefully they got us after it this bye week and into practice, and hey, and get the tight ends involved. Yeah, get this potent offense back up and running, like we saw in the Arizona game. Hey,
Yep.
maybe we can make a run here.
Yeah, and I mean this was set up perfectly, and obviously this is going to be a 2:30 kick on Fox. It's about time we got back on Fox, low key, because our last two games have been on ESPN. And they haven't really bode well for us. So just saying.
Nah, we need to stay off ESPN. Um, Yeah, so that is a look at BYU for we're gonna take more of a deep dive on Thursday. So tonight we are gonna close with some stuff from Women's Basketball Media Day. Cody, take it away.
Yeah. So the women's basketball team on last Thursday had their media day, and I mean, among the main points, I mean, we got to learn a lot more about the team and the expectations. I mean, Audie Crooks asked about the team's expectations. I mean, obviously last year they were ranked number 8 in the country to start the year, but inconsistencies and injuries kind of derailed that season. And Audie Crooks asked about kind of having similar expectations, and it was asked if those goals are lofty. And she's like, no, those goals are not lofty. Obviously, and she obviously mentioned that last year didn't go the way they did. But I mean, that gave him a reason to really get back in the gym, get back to work, and really be able to reach those goals. And it's rectified last year by making a deeper run in the NCAA tournament. So really liking that. And then we got to hear a lot about Jada Williams, and she mentioned her threat as a three at all three levels, and I mean that's something that I think Iowa State needs because we didn't really get too much. We had a pretty limited offense last year. It's really made Dottie Brooks just because didn't have a consistent perimeter shooter. So Jada Williams brings that dynamic to the team, and it's going to be really fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun watching Jada Williams. I feel like we're going to bring back those and one mixtapes specifically for Jada Williams. I guarantee she's going to put somebody on the floor sliding across it with an ankle breaker, and that thing is turned into a three, and that's going to get the whole crowd crazy. But I mean, she also mentioned defensively. Iowa State defensively is not exactly the best, and Jada Williams said she prides herself on being intense defensively, and I think we need that because I think there were times where our defense broke down and it led to games we shouldn't have lost. We lost because of it. So really can shore up the defense. That's going to be that's going to be a huge boost for the team.
I believe they also have a scrimmage this week.
I think it's next. Yeah, next Tuesday. I think it's next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I did see they were among the teams to win the Big 12. I mean, they were second behind, I think, TCU in the preseason coaches poll in the Big 12. So, how about that? This could be a really nice year for the Twister sisters in Hilton Coliseum. And I know for sure it's going to be a fun year because, I mean, the schedule this year is much lighter than it was last year. Last year, they had to go up against three of the Final Four teams from that previous season in UConn, Carolina, and Iowa. And that was such a challenge for them. And clearly, I think they learned a lot from that. So the schedule is much lighter for the ladies. So I expect them to do a lot more damage, like and get a lot more wins in the win column, and really make a deeper one in the tournament.
Yeah, it should be interesting. All right. Um, Thank you for that, Cody. And today, we are going to end today's show. We just wanted to give you a recap of what was in college football. Talk a little bit about BYU and talk about women's basketball. We are going to first give a thank you to our sponsor, FanDuel. Make sure to get all the promos done. I'll get all the promos that are available. And now we have Game 7, which I believe is it tonight or is it?
I think it is tonight, Game 7 of the ALCS.
Yeah. So the World Series is coming up, so make sure you bet on the World Series. We have college football. We got the NBA starting next week. So we're really coming up on a sports equinox.
Oh, dude, that when I hear that, and the first two games of the season are going to be on NBC. So when we hear that classic NBA on NBC theme, oh, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be
Wait,
so
wait, 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 wait.
fun.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold.
I feel like I'm at the student line waiting to get into the football stadium. What is this? See, I can never end.
All right. One second.
Um, I mean, while you're bringing that up, uh, Detroit Lions. I mean, yeah, well, you do that. I mean, NFL is one.
I can't wait to hear that again.
Oh yeah, dude, Ground Ball Rock is gonna hit like crack.
Dude,
I'm
I
like,
haven't heard that song since I was a kid.
I mean, I think the last time I listened to it was actually the Olympics. So I watched Team USA basketball. They would play that for the Olympics. Yes.
Well, Fox had it for the longest time
Yeah.
for college basketball.
Yeah. But now we get NBA on NBC. Hell yeah.
I can't wait. But yes,
And
go say that again.
yeah, those first two matchups tomorrow for NBA are going to be Houston Rockets taking on the defending NBA champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then at 9:00 local time, it'll be the Warriors taking on the Lakers. So pretty good double header.
Great matchups. Let's go. Although I did hear that LeBron's going to be out for a few months. So yeah, it's going to be rough for them.
Okay.
All right. And then, of course, you can find us on Twitter. Find me, Tyler, at SciTie Guy. Find Cody at Matt Campbell. And lastly, find us on social media. We have 6 forms of social media: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. And we can be found on Twitch at Believe in ISU 2025. All right. That concludes tonight's show. For Tyler Carter,
And for Cody Van
this is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
go Cyclones.